This is Akashvani Chennai. We bring to you an interview titled Parliament, a Temple of Democracy, Deciphered. Participating in the interview is Shri Prabhu Srinivasan, retired Joint Secretary of the LOKSABHA. He is interviewed by Shri G. SRINIVASAMURTHY.
Good evening, listeners. Welcome to the program, Parliament, Temple of Democracy, Deciphered. To speak about it, today we have with us Shri Prabhu Srinivasan. He comes with 4 decades of experience in Lok Sabha, retired Joint Secretary in the Lok Sabha, and he is here to talk about the various activities and proceedings of Parliament. And he's been involved in core activities of Parliament functions, which includes the proceedings of Parliament and the Constitution of India expert. Hello, sir. Namaste. Welcome to the program. Good evening.
Namaste. Thank you very much.
So, to start with, sir, we would like to understand, just for our listeners,
Yes.
what is Parliament basically do, and what are the functions of a Parliament at a very high level?
Parliament is an elected body that consists of 2 houses, consists of House of the People, that is Lok Sabha, and Council of States, that is Rajya Sabha. House of the People is elected by the general public, and Council of States are elected by representatives of the people. Parliament consists of both Lok Sabha and as well as Rajya Sabha. There are various functions of Parliament. In fact, everyone calls Parliament as Maha Panchayat in our country.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
The basic functions of the Parliament are, first, to discuss national as well as international issues. The second function, to make government accountable to the public. The third major function is to make legislation applicable for the public. And the fourth major function is to scrutinize budget.
Now, let's break it down function by function.
Yes.
And let's try and delve slightly deep into that. So, you initially mentioned that one of the primary function is to to discuss both national and international issues. Of course, we'll keep the international issues aside. For now, we'll just talk about the topics of national interest in terms of the activities and the proceedings in the Parliament.
Yes.
Now, generally, people say there are bills that are introduced, the bills are passed with thumping majority, and then there's yes, no, that kind of things that we have seen some of those live proceedings of the Parliament. Generally, what are the bills and what types of bills are generally presented in the lower house and the upper house?
As I already told, one of the major functions of the Parliament is to make legislation. And what is a legislation? First, a bill has to be introduced. And what is a bill? It is a draft legislative proposal.
Okay.
There are 2 types of bills. One is from the government and other is private members' bills. Government bills are those which are introduced by the ministers, and private members' bills are those which are introduced by members other than ministers, and they may belong to any political party, including the ruling party. So any bill introduced by any member is called a private member. The first step for a bill is introduction.
Okay.
Introduction bill. I'm talking about the government bill. The minister will introduce the bill in the House. At the time of introduction, you will see him arise from his seat and say, I want to introduce the bill. Then the speaker would say, the question is, the minister may be allowed to introduce the bill. Those in favor say aye, those against may say noes. Usually, at the time of introduction, there is no opposition, and members would say ayes. Then the speaker would say, ayes have it, ayes have it. Now, the minister may introduce the bill. The minister would stand up and say, Mr. Speaker, sir, I introduce the bill. Then it means the bill is introduced. It is tabled in Parliament. That is a first step.
Okay.
We're talking about ayes and noes. That is a first step of introduction.
Okay.
Then afterwards, time is allotted for discussion. After, say, maybe 2-3 weeks, the bill will be taken up for discussion. We have a business advisory committee headed by Honorable Speaker Lok Sabha. The time will be allotted by the committee.
Okay.
Then the bill will be taken up for discussion. The first stage is consideration. General discussion on the provisions of the bill.
Okay.
All members would participate in the debate, and the minister would reply at the end of the debate. Then the bill will be taken up class by class. Each and every class will be taken up for discussion. But in practice, it is not taken up for discussion, but it will be put to vote to the House. And members have the option to move amendments to some clauses.
Okay.
Before that clause is put to vote, the amendment will be voted out, put to vote first.
Okay.
Since they don't command majority in the House, most of the amendments will be rejected. And usually, ruling party members, they will not propose amendments.
Okay. So, which means the bill, there are two types of bill. One is public bill, one is private bill. Public bill obviously is introduced by the Council of Ministers. Now, now there will be obviously a series of steps to prepare the bill in prior. So, maybe some of the debates probably happen off the floor before they actually create a fine-grained draft and bringing it to the table. Is there any formal procedure that happens during the drafting of the bill itself before it's introduced?
See, any law is basically for the general welfare of the public.
Okay.
How a bill is originates. It could be from the on the demand of the public, or on demand of the situation, or demand of the current needs. A bill will be drafted by the concerned ministry first.
Okay.
Then it will be sent to law ministry for vetting. Suppose the government feels that the provisions of the bill ought to be made public, then it will be made public for soliciting the public opinion.
Even before being tabled in the
Yes,
parliament.
tabled
Okay.
in the parliament.
Okay.
Sometimes public, they offer their opinion, and the government do take into consideration of those opinion and revise the bill.
Okay. Now, after the bill, during the bill, introduction of the bill, suppose the ayes and noes are not there, right? You don't have majority of noes, right? So then will the bill be retaken after a while? Is there a procedure to say, no, there is a cool-off period of this many days or this many sessions before it's taken up again?
No, there is no cooling off period.
Okay.
There is no cooling. Only for one bill, one or two types of bill, there is a cooling off period. I'll come to that later.
Okay.
But there is no cooling off period for other bills.
Okay.
For finance bill or a money bill, there is a cooling off period in the other house. There is a Rajya Sabha.
Okay.
When a bill is passed by LOKSABHA, a money bill or finance bill is passed by LOKSABHA, it has to be returned by Rajya Sabha within 14 days. There's a time limit set under the Constitution of India.
Okay.
Suppose the Rajya Sabha does not return within 14 days, it will deemed to be
as
passed by
accepted by the upper house.
accepted by the Rajya Sabha, and will be deemed to have been passed in the form it has been sent to Rajya Sabha.
Okay.
There's one cooling off period. Another cooling off period, we have ordinances.
Okay.
Ordinances had to be passed within 6 weeks from the date of the first sitting of the next session.
Oh, 6 days from the first sitting of 6 weeks.
Yes.
From the first. Oh, okay, understood. Okay. Now, what happens, sir, in case it is now sent back? Now, after that, it goes to assent for the president, right? Once it's passed to the, it goes. Does it go to the president for assent after that? Honorable
Once a
President.
bill is passed by both houses of parliament, it goes to the president for his assent.
Okay, and then it becomes immediately a law.
Yes, in immediate law. But there is one provision. We have finance bill. You all know when the budget is presented, a bill is introduced along with the budget estimates, budget papers.
Okay.
That is called finance bill.
Correct.
There is only one bill which comes into, some of the provisions come into effect even before it is assented by the president.
Okay, that's considering the emergency of the bill.
Certain provisions of the finance bill come into effect from the midnight of the day the bill is introduced.
Okay.
Suppose the bill, usually the budget is presented on the 1st of February. Along with the budget, the finance bill is also introduced by the Honorable Finance Minister. And the finance bill would come in certain provisions, not
Certain
all.
provisions.
Certain provisions like taxation proposals would come into effect from the midnight of the day the bill is introduced, even before it is assented to by the president.
By the president, or even before it's sent to the Rajya Sabha also, for
Yes.
that matter.
Yes.
Okay, okay. And in case it gets rejected by the president at that point of time, saying these provisions, by the honorable president or by the honorable members in Rajya Sabha, then will it again take some effect in terms of amendments and all that?
No, Rajya Sabha does not have the power in
Okay.
case of money bills.
Money
And
bills,
in case of money bill, the president has to give assent.
Has to give assent.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Now we're talking about types of bills, right?
Yes.
Now it is very clear that a bill is drafted and then is presented and moved as a public bill by the honorable ministers.
Yes.
And then it gets the majority, and from there it moves to Rajya Sabha. And within 14 days, Rajya Sabha has to approve it.
This is a money bill.
It is a money bill, and if it does not, then obviously it's deemed as accepted and it goes to the assent for honorable president. Now we talked slightly about money bill. What are the other types of bills that are there, sir?
So there are many types of bills. One is, the first is bills with original ideas. That is a new bill.
Okay.
The second is amendment bill. There will be already a statute. Some amendments will be made in that statute. That's called amendment bill. Then we have constitution amendment bill. Then we have finance bill. These are the major types of bills.
Okay. Now, the constitution bill that we talked about, that you just brought about, which will be slightly interesting after the money bill,
Yes.
is the clauses that might probably affect some of the facets of the constitution. For example, recently we had IPC changed to BNS,
Yes.
right? So those kind of bills will have a pre-assent from the judiciary systems as well, where there is a constitutional changes, or judicial system will not come into picture for amending any constitution items.
No, for amending Constitution of India or any law, Parliament has absolute power.
Okay.
That does not have to come from judiciary.
Okay.
Suppose judiciary make some recommendation, government may take into consideration of those recommendations. But as far as making law, Parliament has absolute power.
Okay. And once the law is made, and if there are certain elements that will have to be, certain situations will have to be repealed, then will it have to go through the judiciary again, or will it come back to the Parliament as an amendment? Generally, I'm only talking about the constitution bill, because that's where the legal law systems and all that come into effect,
So
right?
as far as constitution amendment bills are concerned, it can be introduced in either house of Parliament,
Okay.
either in Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha.
Okay.
And there's a special procedure for amending the constitution. Here, usually in case of normal bills, they are passed by simple majority. But in case of constitution amendment bills, those are passed with majority of 2/3 majority of present and voting. That is, 2/3 of the members should be vote in favor, subject to half of the total membership.
Okay. Okay.
For example, we have 543 MPs of Lok Sabha now.
Correct.
Half will be around 272.
Correct.
At any stage of the bill, in the constitutional amendment bill, 272 members should say vote in favor of the constitutional amendment bill. Suppose there are 480 members are present, then we have 360 members should say in favor.
That's 2/3.
2/3 subject to a minimum of 272.
Okay.
That is a procedure. And constitutional bill is once amended by both houses of Parliament, then is sent to the President of India, who will be giving his assent. It comes into force immediately.
It comes into force immediately. So, is there any other bill that Rajya Sabha can directly introduce other than these constitutional bills directly without Lok Sabha's consent? And then will that be sent back to Lok Sabha?
Yes, in Rajya Sabha also any bill can be introduced, except money bill. All bills can be introduced in Rajya Sabha.
As well. Okay.
Finance bill is always a money bill. Except money bill, any bill can be introduced in Rajya Sabha.
Okay.
First.
Okay, and then it comes to Lok Sabha, and from Lok Sabha it'll probably go to President
of India.
Okay, very good. So now we have understood what types of bills are there and how these bills are presented. And next, that's all we have time for this week. But in the next episode, we will talk more detail about the money bill itself and how the elections of the Honorable President, Vice President are done. And as an example with the IPC to BNS, how it was actually done as a case scenario. So that will actually echo well with enlightenment for a listener.
This is Akashvani Chennai.
I would just like to understand the budget bill, right? I would specifically with respect to the budget bill, if you can kindly give us, explain to us as to how that is presented and how the Parliament has a control over the budget bill. What kind of controls do they have?
The financial of a country is from 1st April to 31st March.
Yeah, financial year.
Financial
correct.
year.
Yes.
Usually on 1st February, Honorable Finance Minister presents the annual financial statement to the Lok Sabha. If you have read Constitution of India, you will not find the word budget in Constitution.
Okay.
Only annual financial statement will be there.
Okay.
But in common parlance, it's called as budget.
Okay.
The Honorable Finance Minister presents annual financial statement on February 1st. Immediately after, he introduces the finance bill.
Okay.
As I told you earlier, certain provisions of the finance bill come into effect from the midnight of the day the bill is introduced. Earlier, before 7-8 years back, after the presentation of budget, usually vote on account was obtained to keep the expenses of the government going even after the close of the financial year, that is up to 31st March.
Okay.
But government considered this deeply and they made certain changes. They thought that some of the ministries are not able to utilize the money properly, especially at the end of the financial year.
So they probably thought more control is required.
So they thought that if the ministries are given money right from the beginning of the financial year, those money can be properly and fully utilized by the government.
Okay.
So now what happens is, even before the financial year closes, the whole exercise of budget, passing of the budget takes place.
Okay.
Earlier, the OTAN account was taken to keep the expenses going even up to the financial year. Now, the whole budget, there's a full budget is passed even before the accounting year closes. Once the budget is presented, the budgetary estimates are referred to departmental standing committees. Before 1991, the Indian Parliament did not have departmental related standing committees. In 1991, the Parliament thought we should have departmental committees to scrutinize the budgetary proposals thoroughly, as Parliament does not have enough time to discuss the budgetary proposals. So, based on the Kerala model, budgetary committees were constituted in Parliament in 1991.
Okay.
So, once the budget is presented, the budgetary proposals are referred to the departmental related standing committees.
Okay.
We have about 24 departmental related standing committees right now, and each departmental standing committee may have one or two ministries. So the budgetary proposals will be referred to those departmental standing committees. The committees will scrutinize the budgetary proposals thoroughly, and they make a report
Okay.
to the Parliament. And based on the report, there will be discussion, general discussion on the budgetary proposals. But
Okay.
since Parliament does not have enough time to discuss each and every budgetary proposal, the Business Advisory Committee meets and discuss and selects few ministries of which the budgetary proposals are discussed thoroughly.
Okay. Okay. Understood.
Every year, the 2-3 ministries are selected by the Business Advisory Committee. Here what happens, some member would initiate the discussion, usually from the opposition. All members would participate, who are interested, and at the end of the debate, the minister concerned would reply to the debate.
Okay. Understood.
Then the estimate of that ministry would be passed. Usually, budgetary proposals of 2-3 ministries are taken up. But Rajya Sabha does not have enough powers of budget. So what happens in Rajya Sabha, they discuss about the working of those ministries.
Okay.
They do not discuss the budgetary proposals, but they discuss about the working of certain ministries. The Business Advisory Committee, Rajya Sabha, they meet, they select a few ministries where the working of those ministries are discussed in Rajya Sabha. And after those 2-3 ministries are discussed, then the demands of each and every ministry which are not discussed by the Parliament are put to vote at one go.
Okay.
It is called guillotine.
Guillotine. Okay.
Guillotine.
Okay.
Because we have about 60 to 65 ministries, and as I told you, only a few ministries, budgetary proposals of few ministries are discussed, and the rest of the ministries cannot be discussed due to passage of time. So all the budgetary estimates of the rest of the ministries are put to vote at one go. That is called guillotine.
Guillotine.
Once this votes are passed, then immediately the Honorable Finance Minister moves appropriation bill.
Okay.
And usually there is no discussion on the appropriation bill. It is passed without any discussion.
Okay. Okay. Now, so a couple of ministries, for example, I would imagine like Railways Ministry, right, or Defense Ministry, depending on the context of the day or the importance of that year. I think such discussions will happen.
Yes.
Outside the door. Yeah.
As far as the railways are concerned, about 7 years back, we used to have a separate rail budget
for railways.
Rail budget.
Correct.
For last 7 years, we have a composite general budget.
Correct. Any reason for that, sir? Why it's integrated together?
The reason for first a separate budget was the railways used to pay a dividend to the general budget.
Okay.
Because before independence, railways used to earn huge profit. So they were required to pay a dividend to the general revenues.
To the revenues, yeah. Okay. To the overall revenue.
Overall revenues.
Okay.
They used to pay about 6 to 7% dividend every year.
Okay.
And for that, there used to be a parliamentary committee, Railway Convention Committee, which used to decide the rate of dividend payable by the railways to the general revenue.
Okay, understood.
But after some time, railways they themselves wanted a lot of money for the infrastructural development.
Yeah.
So they thought that it would not be prudent to pay dividend.
Okay.
So both the budgets were merged, the composite budget.
Okay, thanks for giving
Now,
that
as far
insight.
General budget is, discussion takes place. Railways are generally taken up for discussion
Okay.
because railways are very much in demand. All members will be very much interested to discuss railways.
Yeah, because
every member would
it
require
touches
some,
everybody's lives in India.
development for
Correct.
their constituency.
Correct. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. That was a good clarity that you gave on this. But of course, there are a lot of things a lot of topics to discuss about. I'm slightly jumping the topic to going into the electioneering process
Yes, sir.
of the entire proceedings that is done. How is the Lok Sabha speaker elected, or how are the honorable president, vice president, who is the speaker of Rajya Sabha elected?
So, Lok Sabha speaker, once the Lok Sabha is a new Lok Sabha is constituted, as per our constitutional requirement, we should have one honorable speaker, Lok Sabha. He is elected from the members of the Lok Sabha.
Members of the Lok
Only members of the Lok Sabha have the right to vote for the election of Speaker of Lok Sabha.
Sabha. Okay.
Usually, no election is held. Usually, the Speaker is elected unanimously.
Okay.
All parties, they agree on a common candidate sponsored by the ruling party.
Okay.
And that member is elected as a Honorable Speaker Lok Sabha. And the Chairman Rajya Sabha, Honorable Vice President of India, is the ex officio Chairman of the Rajya Sabha.
Okay.
Vice President is elected by the members of Lok Sabha and
as
Rajya
well as
Sabha.
Rajya Sabha. Okay. Okay. Vice president elected by both. Okay. And then what should be the majority, sir, for that?
Simple majority.
A simple
majority.
Simple majority is good.
Like we have 543 members from Lok Sabha and about 250 members in Rajya Sabha. A simple majority of
50%.
both combination.
50% is
Yes, 50%.
50% is good enough. Okay. And actually, we talked about Parliament being accountable to the bills and how they control the bills and all that. But how are they accountable to the public? How is the Parliament accountable to the public? What are at a very high level, if you can just touch?
So in our parliamentary system of democracy, government is accountable to the legislation.
Okay.
Executive is accountable to legislation. That is Parliament.
Parliament. Okay.
And what is Parliament? It consists
Elected
of
House
representatives.
Correct.
And who are representatives? They represent public.
People.
So indirectly, government is accountable to public.
Public.
And any member of parliament, how you can make the government accountable? There are various methods to make government accountable.
At a very high level, if
Yes.
you can just touch.
They can put questions
Okay.
so that government will have to come up with answer.
Uh-huh.
And if the member is not satisfied with that answer, he can put further question.
Okay.
And they can raise an issues. Suppose, for example, people feel that they do not have enough roads or national roads or railways, proper railway facilities.
Uh-huh.
They can approach the member of parliament,
Okay.
concerned member of parliament,
Okay.
and member of parliament will raise the issue in parliament.
Okay.
So indirectly, public involvement
Public voice
is there.
is heard.
His involvement is there.
Yes.
They can approach the member of parliament and they can get the things done.
Okay.
And another important thing is the public is where involved is whenever a committee meets, suppose a bill is referred or any matter is referred to a committee, the committee would seek the opinion of the public.
Okay.
They will publish in newspapers,
Uh-huh.
and any member of public can make a representation to the committee that he can give his requirements or demands.
Oh, directly to the Parliament.
Yes, directly to the parliament, to the
Oh.
committee,
Oh.
and the chairman of the committee would examine those proposals.
Okay.
Sometimes they may accept also.
Okay. And then that will be taken up for discussion in
Yes.
the Parliament. Oh, very nice.
Not discussion of parliament, but for that point they can consider.
They can consider.
So, for example, the committee is discussing about education policy.
Uh-huh.
They may seek the opinion of the public from the schools or from education institutions.
Okay.
Anyone can make a representation, and his suggestion or request will definitely be considered by the committee. If the committee feels those recommendations are suitable, they will include it in the report and submit to the government.
Generally, all
So
subject
these are the
ma-
ways the public can be involved.
can be involved. And sometimes even subject matter experts on a particular topic can be brought and discussed
Yes.
by the committee.
Yes.
And then, yeah,
Because
okay.
all MPs, the parliamentary committee, they want to discuss some important issue.
Uh-huh.
They can consult experts on a particular field, or they can consult stakeholders on a particular field. So public can always approach them.
Okay. Now, one last question, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is an ordinance and how was it passed? At a very, very high level, if you can just tell us.
As I was last week, we were talking about how a bill is passed. Suppose for making a legislation immediately, and Parliament, the government feels there's not enough time. There's no enough time to convene the Parliament, and the matter is urgently required to be addressed. then they bring an ordinance.
Ordinance, okay.
Ordinance is almost equivalent to a law. It's
Okay.
as good as a law.
Okay.
But there is a catch here. The ordinance has to be replaced by a bill within 6 weeks from the date of the first sitting of the next session.
Okay.
6 weeks.
6 weeks, okay.
But Constitution cannot be amended by an ordinance.
Okay.
For amending the Constitution, a bill has to be introduced in Parliament.
Understood. Okay. So
This
ordinance
route cannot be taken
This
for
route cannot
Constitution.
So ordinance basically for any emergency things that need to be taken
Yes.
on very urgent basis, and then that would be then tabled. But it cannot really amend the constitution, but
Yes.
it can only take the order of the day and then complete it. But however, that has to be again vetted within 6 weeks from the next sitting of the parliament.
Yes, 6 weeks.
Okay, excellent, sir. Excellent. Thank you very much for sharing your experience. Very kind of you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Participating in the interview titled Parliament, a Temple of Democracy Deciphered was Shri Prabhu Srinivasan, retired Joint Secretary of the Lok Sabha. He was interviewed by Shri G. SRINIVASAMURTHY. This program came to you from the studios of Akashvani, Chennai.